President Trump is on the ballot next fall. Because if we lose the majority, if the Republicans, the common sense people here who are doing the job for the American people, if we lose the majority in the House and this radical element of the Democrat Party were able to take over, we've already seen that movie. They will try to end the Trump administration. He won't have 4 years, he'll have only 2, because they will move to impeach him probably on the first day of the new Congress in January.
Hello, my people. Republicans across the country are growing fear that they're going to lose big as President Trump is isolated in the White House. This major development comes after Republicans think they're going to lose another election in Tennessee soon this week. But what really happened? What really happened to the extent that Republicans are now worried that Mr. Trump is isolated in the White House, and therefore it might affect their power, their MAGA, and their everything. Poll after poll suggests that Americans believe Trump is now getting it wrong and has lost focus on what got him elected. Who contests that? No one. People voted him to lower prices, to bring manufacturing back, to stand up to those taking advantage of them. A close Trump ally told the Atlantic as not to antagonize the president. They didn't vote for him to build a damn gilded ballroom. You know, Trump destroyed the White House and to build another ballroom. He's not hearing them at all. Of course, the Atlantic says every president, of course, deals with being in a bubble, distanced by the demands on his time and the extraordinary security concern that comes with the office. But in his return to the presidency this year, Trump has seldom ventured across the country to anywhere other than his own clubs. He also inhabits something of a news zero, watching far-right cables channel such as One America News Network and Newsmax along with Fox News. So 3 channels. Did you hear that? The far-right cable channels such as One America News Network, Newsmax along with Fox News. Even his social media consumption has become narrower. Instead of being on the app formerly known as Twitter, where his occasionally encounter contrary views, he now posts solely on Truth Social, which he owns and where he is surrounded by sycophants. And his own White House staff, this time largely populated by true believers and yes men, of course, and yes women, of course, only adds to the echo chamber. And that's really isolation. And when the president is isolated, I think it has an impact on the whole country, on how the whole country is governed, on how the whole country is read. But also you heard about that. What the president reads also impact him, impact how he thinks, impact how he view the people he's leading. And that's why if you watch clearly if you watch closely the Fox News and the other one, the Newsmax, oh my friend, it's far right views only, and probably that's where things go wrong. So the Republican wants Trump, even with low poll numbers, back on the road in 2026 to persuade the voters who tend to turn out only for him to support other Republicans. You heard about that, The GOP took heavy losses in Trump's first midterms in 2018, you remember, in the first Trump presidency. So Trump is deeply concerned about the midterms. Of course, you heard him talking about midterms and how he want to come back and win elections, because you know why? If he loses the midterm, it means the end of Trump presidency as it is, yeah? Because then the Congress will be taken over by the Democrats, and then they will be stopping each and every policies that Trump would love or would like to implement it countrywide, which will make a setback for him. So Trump has to do everything to win the midterm elections in November. Otherwise, that's exactly, it will not be 4 years presidential term, it will be 2 years. Because you remember when he lost the midterm elections in 2018. Remember that he was elected in 2016, so he had another more 2 years. And then when he lost it, he couldn't implement any policy or program without the Congress approval, and that's what happens. Right now, Trump gets everything from the Congress, because every policy it passes by the Congress, because the majority is GOP, it's the Republicans, and he don't have to convince them, he don't have to persuade them, he don't have to request them to vote. No, it's like go ahead. So whatever Trump says, the GOP registrators, vote yes. A part of Epstein files, you remember what happened there. So they are deeply concerned. Trump is also concerned with the midterms. He knows that if Democrats capture a House of Congress, they would be armed with the power of the subpoena and would paralyze his administration with investigations. You heard me. So Trump has to fight like hell to win the midterm elections. Otherwise, Democrats will not be easy to him. So, but the role he will play in the next year campaign remains unknown, since Trump is in his final term. This is the final term. This is the second term of President Trump, and it appears, it seems to me that Trump is not seeing himself campaigning for the GOP, since his last presidency is this term. So, which means, whether maybe if you win or you don't win, I don't care. My term is almost over. I have my 2 terms, and then maybe after that I will go out of politics and do my own business. What GOP think? Yeah. So let's wait. Though the role President Trump will play in the upcoming midterm elections is not known, but some suggest that Trump, in order to save his administration from being interfered by the GOP, by the Democrats in the Congress, he has to campaign for 2026 midterm elections. Otherwise, it will be almost over. So, the Atlantic reveals that Trump is kind of isolated. He's living in a bubble, the bubble of yes men and yes women. He's watching only Fox News and some other extreme or far-right news cables, and he's spending time on Truth Social, which also has a lot of views that doesn't contradict him. The Atlantic Times says he used to get like the opposite views from the Twitter, and he's no longer using Twitter that often, to the extent that his time is kind of narrowed. The Atlantic Times also says polls after polls are showing that people are not happy with the Trump administration performance when it comes to lowering prices, affordability, house rent affordabilities. Life is getting tough and tough and tough. And what the Trump administration does is to blame the former President Biden, who has been who finished his mandate back last year, 2024. So, are we gonna keep blaming Biden for the current administration performances? Let's see. But people close to Trump should... there's another point also. The Atlantic says Trump is traveling abroad more and more, comparing to his first term election. So what does it mean? Is Trump disconnected to his own people? The Atlantic says it appears to be. But in another circumstances, we have to see if... Okay, let's say it this way. Some people suggest that Trump was mistreated in between his first term and second term on President Biden mandate. He was mistreated. They say he was being criminalized. He was brought to the court every time and often, and that's why President Trump sometimes he feels like Biden was the worst president, because he treated him badly in a way. Many people suggest that. But is this behavior that President Trump is having to be disconnected with the people, but also to follow extreme far right news cables, is it because of that perception he got from Biden, that the liberal maybe have no good intention for him as a person? Let me know in a comment. Please share, subscribe, and like to stay connected with us. We are a news commentator, and we love America, and we wish the best for Americans and residents here. We wish harmony, unity, and development for the nation. Thank you so much.